everyone. Happy Monday. Switch up the music a little bit. Oh, I hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. Fuck, I still can't stay in frame. I'm the worst. Alright. It's just sparkling water. I gotta turn things down for me so I can hear my own fucking thoughts, man. I tried to do some adjustments so things are a little bit louder because I was going through and watching a couple of my old streams and everything is so fucking quiet and I think that I'm so loud all the goddamn time. But no. I actually have a quiet issue now, which is okay, I guess. Why do I feel like there's something I'm forgetting? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, now we have some clips and stuff because I had to take all of my old clips off of Twitch because of copyright and other issues when I like had the break from streaming and everything. So I put a couple up from a past stream, which was a little less than 2 months ago, I think. And watching through that actually gave me some thoughts because I don't know, I always have this like thing in the back of my head that I'm not doing things as quickly as I should, I guess. I'm not making as much progress as I thought. And like watching that from literally like a few weeks ago, it's like CPTSD used to be like a part of my like all day, every day. It was about like avoiding being triggered and things like that. And I genuinely forgot that was the thing because I feel like I've been doing a whole lot better. One thing I noticed was like my traps right here, like for the first time in my life, probably since I was like a teenager, have relaxed and gone down. Like I don't have like jacked fucking traps anymore from just being so like tense all the time. And that was just like something that happened passively. I wasn't actively working on anything besides, you know, general health and well-being. I wasn't intending to make my muscles smaller. Look at the pile of laundry because I don't know if I should fold it or not. My weekend was good. I slept in a little bit both days and I got my work done early after that. I got a couple hours of work done. So I was able to start taking classes again because I said I was doing courses for coding and SQL and stuff like that. And I continued those. I'm continuing my language studies, and I am also I also started courses through the Harvard Free website for data science and things like that. So I am making progress. And also in that point, I couldn't be up like doing things for long periods of time, even writing things that I wanted to write without getting I just ran into the desk. Without getting exhausted for multiple days because of like the CPTSD situation and also like my EDS and everything, and just being as active as I've been and making the progress that I have, I can work all the way through my days and my energy levels stay stable, so that's always a positive. And then after I did my courses, I think it was like 2 that I took on. I was able to play some games for a little bit by myself in some solitude and just exist in a fantasy world for a little bit, and that was really nice. If you know me, then you know that I have a very difficult time doing fun things unless like I'm streaming or like explicitly invited to do something, because I have this like thing in my brain that's just like constant guilt for not moving as fast as I should, I guess. So that was really nice. And I woke up feeling refreshed, even though I did wake up again late today. I was able to do my work and stuff before, and I might even put in some hours after stream. Yeah, 2 months ago I couldn't consistently put in work and put in focus for multiple hours at a time without like really fucking myself for like days. Like I couldn't keep up with the energy for days. So that was really nice. 2 months ago I didn't have a resume and I was just trying to make money in all the little avenues that I do. Now I have a full ass resume and a LinkedIn, and I've been working on making that better and sending out applications for the last like I don't know, week and a half, 2 weeks. Something more stable, even though I do have work, it's just not like not guaranteed consistency. Even though I'm consistent in it, like the end of the last week of July or so, there wasn't as much available to like work, so you just can't. I think the one that I watched was a week sober from weed, and it feels like my frontal lobe is finally in the last stages of development, finally catching up. So I just gotta laugh at myself for that. Been through a lot of shit, dude. But to be able to take a deep breath and take care of myself and my cat has been nice. And even when like I get bad news or I get wrenches thrown into my plans and stuff, I don't completely lose it, and I don't fall into like a negative spiral of things will never get good again. Which took some practice, not gonna lie. It wasn't something that just passively happened, it was something that took a lot of practice. But now it's like automatic that I automatically see the good in those situations. Ooh, my thumb is still fucked up. I dislocated it like a week ago, maybe a little over a week ago. I don't know what I was doing. But over the weekend I didn't have to wear my brace or anything. I was doing good. And then last night I was putting like stuff on my skin, and I felt like my thumb pop like in here, and today it's been really sore. I had a good adjustment today, but when I went to like do that to shuffle the cards, it really fucking hurt. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that part today. On the downside of doing better in my brain, I haven't got to find the comment sections because I haven't been spending like any time on social media or anything. Besides like LinkedIn, because I guess that is technically a social media. But there's nothing fun on there, and I don't look at the feed because it's like Facebook. It's really bad. Really bad as in like everything's fucking old. All the stuff that's posted. But I've been pretty open basically my entire streaming career about the things that I struggle with and the progress that I'm making, because I like I don't know, if someone can relate and they can see that it is possible to get out of those negative spirals and actually like break those cycles. glasses were meant to be inverted or not. So many notebooks. I did find one comment that I was sitting here literally laughing out loud at, and that's because I watch Bionic Pig videos. I like to watch people that are good at like reacting to things. It's easier for me to watch whatever the content is that they're reacting to or watching with. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're like constantly pausing and having conversation about it, and I'm used to people because I was never one to like watch TV by myself when I lived with my family and stuff, so maybe that's just normal for me. But I was watching those, and one of them was about like this Christian cult that did really egregious things. Like, I'm not gonna go into that because that's all a very dark topic, and I don't like to get super dark on here. But they were talking about how the women weren't allowed to wear pants because Bible reasons or whatever. And the comment, I'm gonna pause it. I saved I bookmarked the video. The comment was, I hope when the Bible 2 comes out, we can start wearing pants. And I thought that was funny as fuck. I guess some people would call it blasphemy, but whatever. I'm not a religious person. And if you can't have humor about your shit, then I don't really want to be around you, to be honest. Okay. I'm getting an idea of what's going on in the cards. But that was really funny to me. I was sitting here just laughing out loud. And sometimes, like, I think honestly the comment sections of things are the best parts of the internet. And then when we're talking about like things that were happening in the on the internet, I think it was the stream I did about ego and the tarot. As in like my tarot reading, I was talking about ego in a past few streams. If you look on the channel, I mentioned the Clinton Kane situation because that was blowing up all over the internet. And of course, Brooke got her little heyday. Brooke was the girl that he like messed around on, and then she was exposed like I think it was a couple days ago. But honestly, like I said, I haven't been on the internet, so I haven't really seen much. But she had some racist tweets pop up, and honestly, disappointed but not surprised. But she always had like a weird personality to me of like not being able to listen with empathy with certain things, and maybe it's like the BPD situation or whatever. And like on the podcast, I'm talking about the canceled podcast, when Tana was talking about the Cody Ko situation that was all coming out, she had to have her like assistant be the other person on because Brooke wasn't receiving it well. And like when she's talked about like Palestine and stuff in the past, Brooke just sat there like making like a face that she didn't empathize or say anything. And I don't know, something about that strikes me as odd. But the thing that really struck me was like I had to watch the video that she did twice, and I still didn't like fully comprehend everything that she was saying because I realized partway through that she never said the words "I'm sorry," which is weird. But just so everyone knows who, because I was actively talking about that situation and that I was a fan of that podcast and everything, that I'm not supportive of that. I am very supportive of accountability. And that's the kind of just person that I am. I always apologize for my shit. Not that, like, I've ever had anything serious happen, but just, like, in general with the people around me and things, I try to hold accountability for everything. If I have done things in the past, because I've had, you know, toxic relationships, I've had narcissistic tendencies and, you know, situations like that, but acknowledging it and actually growing from it is something that I personally believe in. So the cards that I wasn't sure were inverted or not is the King of Wands and the Five Goblets. Which... Sorry, when I first hear, like, the first part of that song, it always throws my brain for a loop. I'm like, why is this on the list? But then, like, I listen and I realize why it is. But King of Wands inverted speaks of, like, abuse, tyranny. And then the Five Goblets inverted is personal setbacks, self-forgiveness, and moving on, which is kind of what I was talking about at the beginning of the stream, of, like, breaking those cycles and actually, you know, doing well and doing the work internally to grow as a person. So that would be past, I guess. And then the Six of Discs and our lovely Nine of Wands. Six of Discs inverted, self-care, unpaid debts, one-sided charity, like taking accountability, allowing yourself to be taken care of, pay your debts, handle your shit. The Nine of Wands, because it's the two fairies that help her through Pan's Labyrinth, help Ophelia through Pan's Labyrinth. Is like help, guidance, yeah, inspirational power and the ability to help, which is again like why I share my shit and like the things I've been through and how I feel about certain situations that I am known to, like, exist in those circles, I guess. My personal accountability. Move wands. Future planning, progress, decisions. As I've stated. When I say, like, as I've stated, when it's, like, relevant to me, I'm talking mostly about, like, myself as an example of, like, what I'm trying to... the cycle that I am pulling from the cards, because I don't really believe in, like, future telling type of deal. I think clairvoyance and intuition and things like that can mostly be boiled down to recognizing patterns within yourself and within people, and the cards follow the patterns of humans. Yeah, Seven Goblets upright is opportunities, choices, to the opportunities that come from making those decisions. If we read the King of Wands and the Five Goblets in the past, it's past cycles of abusive behaviors, toxicity, things like that, and personal setbacks, and allowing yourself to forgive yourself to be able to move to the present situation, which would be the self-care, dealing with unpaid debts, allowing yourself to receive, being open to new ideas with, you know, the ability to help and the inspiration to do so, which would bring us to the future, which I don't always do past, present, future. In my readings, actually, I rarely do, but that's just the way that I'm seeing this today. And then future planning, progress, decisions, new things to come for the future. And then new opportunities to come with that, decisions to, or choices to make. This goblet's inverted. Lacking playfulness. It's the first thing I saw about that. It's like it's just living in the past, forgiveness, and lacking playfulness. That's another thing that I've talked about. Is like with, you know, the CPTSD and everything, having the inability to be able to allow yourself play unless specifically invited or structured or things like that, because of that guilt of like not healing or not, you know, emotionally monitoring the people around you to make sure everything is okay for yourself, just to allow yourself to be lost in fantasy for a little while. Something I know a lot of us struggle with. But there are many ways that certain cycles and patterns can turn out and wind up. And we just happen to be pulling a, I would say neutral one today. Because having, you know, opportunities and choices to the future doesn't necessarily mean that the choices will be positive for you. But it's one thing I wrote today, because I wrote in my journal for the first time in like almost a month. I wrote in my journal a little bit, and I was able to say that I was proud of like the choices that I'm making, because it's allowing me to have a better life and set myself up for a better future, and not just thinking of like right now, like satisfy whatever fear or guilt or whatever it is like existing in my world right now, to just like be able to tolerate that while planning for the future, I think is a really positive aspect. Woo. Love this one. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune coming up, which, remember, it's instability, unpredictability, and lack of control. But also on the same side, represents new opportunities. So not necessarily a bad thing to have a loss of control, as I was saying, of like not trying to solve necessarily discomfort and control the people around you. And there's uncertainty and unpredictability in making choices that are new for yourself, if that makes sense. The music is really distracting me today. I don't know what it is. But the Wheel of Fortune isn't necessarily a positive or negative card, and it's not, at least the one I have, it's not ever read inverted, because the wheel always turns in the same direction, whether it's upside down or not. But there is like a certain amount of discomfort and unpredictability, and that's one of the reasons that we stay in these toxic cycles and cycles of behaviors, because it's easy to predict it. If I act this way, then the person will respond this way. And even if it's like a negative response that you're getting, it's still a known one. Whereas if you take a step out of that and break that cycle and do what is best and healthiest for yourself, that can be scary because you've never made those kind of choices before, you know? It's like, will I be okay? And the answer is yes, you will be okay. Hell, if I'm okay, you'll be okay. I've been through things that only some people can imagine. Some people can't even imagine. Sometimes you only see it on TV. But if that's your situation, it's okay. And it's okay to make choices for yourself. It doesn't make you selfish or self-centered. And I think when people talk about successful people being like more self-centered or things like that, it just means that they're not people pleasers. They're not putting outside people above themselves, and that's what boundaries are. You're welcome. It is actually a good thing to have boundaries and not just let people walk all over you all the time. Resisting change, internal alignment, that's inverted as well. Hello, welcome. Yeah, I can be very resistant to change and very reactive to change, but as I've said, the more healed I get and the better that I'm doing in situations, the less I have negative reactions to change and situations that are out of my control. Quite proud of myself. But I didn't have like necessarily a direction of what I was going to do today. Actually, when I started, I had no idea. I just start playing with tarot cards because it's fun. But the less I do it, the less practice I get with it, and I really just... I'm worse at presenting my ideas and my thoughts in a cohesive manner. I don't know why this is cohesive, but here we go. It's gluing everything together, that's what that is. But I'm seeing more balance in my life, and that's good. So like my weekends aren't, you know, either complete avoidance and not doing anything productive, and they're not, you know, either being productive or being guilty about not being productive. I was able to do work and do classes and also play a little games and have some fun. Play a little bit of games, not like a little game, like... I have been doing my daily stuff on PGR. I've gotten to 56 polls, I still don't have Echo. I've used up, like, I had 4,000+, like 4.2 thousand or whatever. I didn't know there was a bow because I hadn't opened Destiny. I was stuck on Whisper because it's like a time jumping puzzle and I don't know how to run it, but before tomorrow I might have time tomorrow if I get up early enough. So if I get up early enough, I can do my work and stuff. Or it resets. It resets tomorrow, which is noon. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to have time, or I'll be able to have time to do it. I still have a couple things to do after stream today. Yeah, do a little more. I don't remember. Seven of Blades, inverted, imposter syndrome, self-defeat. Self-deceit. Is that what I said? Gotta do trials. If I get a chance in the evening, I might. Transformative mental energy, but a lack of empathy. King of Blades. Movement, fast-paced change, action alignment. Oh, inverted. Delays, frustration, resistance, change. That's the same one I pulled earlier. Yeah, I know. If I put time in to like learn it, then I would be able to do it, but I haven't. I typically like watch videos and stuff on it. But instead of doing that, I was watching videos on how to defeat Roland in PGR, because I was stuck on that for chapter 7, so I only had it like 67% of the way done. But I typically like watch a video and note exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. But I'm really, really bad at jumping puzzles, especially timed ones. So I was struggling with that, but I want to finish it because I got Whisper of the Worm from it's like the kiosk called in the tower. I got it from that because it was back when we didn't have it was back when we didn't have legacy content yet, and they hadn't said they were bringing it back yet. So I got a lot of my exotics that way through the grinding and getting ciphers and shit like that. Even though it's new cards, it's essentially the same. I don't know if I was around during that. I was around when, I forget what mission it was, but Ikora did a double Nova Bomb or something like that. And all the Warlocks are like, wait a minute. But no, I was playing something else on a local server, so it was just like a single player. Okay, it was post nerf, but Ikora was still able to do it. Because I know that Warlocks weren't able to do it. It's been since my time as a Warlock. Oh shit! Let me drop all those to my lap. I don't know. My thing for a lot of it is like I have difficulty being in VC with people, especially people that aren't like close. I have difficulty with like phone calls too. It's something in my brain. I think because my like audio processing isn't great. I'm a very text-based person, and I write like exactly how I speak. Oh, I did get through not all of season 3 of Lost, but through most of the season of Lost, or season 3 of Lost. So I know John's okay. Yeah, that was before I started playing. But also, I don't usually use Nova Bomb. I use the... I don't know what it's called. The one where your body surges with Nova power for a little while. That's the one I use. I haven't explored a lot of the different styles under each element, I guess. Like, I find a grenade that I like, I find a super that I like, and then I just stick with that element build. So I switch between, like, solar and arc, but my solar is always the same, my arc is always the same. That's probably something that I can explore more now. Before it was because I didn't really know how to switch up the mechanics of it in my brain. But the more I become like a more well-rounded flex player, the better I am at adjusting to change, as we've been talking about. I don't really do PvP unless it's like, I forget which one is which. I know one of them's Mayhem, but it's the one where you have like the solar cannons, the one that you have like the insane supers, just like the fun things like that. And then the capture the flag one that they implemented in the recent years. I am really fucking good at that one, but it's because it's not kill based, it's like point based, whether you capture the flag or not. I'm really good at running. That's the only time I've ever got tops of anything in Crucible whatsoever. I'm just really good at that. I also got Honkai Star Rail, but I haven't opened it or done anything with it because I do it like when I do my first couple tasks of my work in the morning, I do the PGR stuff because I can have it on a separate screen. I'll be reading on one screen and then patting my my girls on the other screen. I would be screwed if they started monitoring what you do. But I'm not a contract, so I don't think they're allowed to. Yeah, I can't do trials. Everyone's way too sweaty in trials. I don't handle it very well. I'm there for a fun time, and a lot of people are not fun. Especially if you're female and they find out. I haven't started my account since I did one months ago, but I can't remember because I was running that through an emulator. I don't know if I connected it to an email or anything, so I could probably still do referrals. I didn't get much past the intro, but I did like the characters. I could see myself investing more time in it if I actually, like, were to care about it. Which, if I started it now, it would be because I cared about it. It was one of the things that I did testing for, and when I have to do testing on things, I'm not as invested in them. I'm just like, let's get through the checkpoints and be done with it. I'm just like zoning out. I don't know why. Maybe I need to eat. I'm definitely not. Definitely not stoned. That's how my streams used to be when I smoked, is I just sit there for a while, just silence. One of my fears was that I know that I'm like I'm not nearly as fun of a streamer since I quit drinking alcohol. So I tried to like flop the other way. I tried to completely flip the other way. And I would smoke during the streams, but it's mostly like I feel like it was mostly like a fidget thing. Of like when I started to get bored or whatever, I would smoke instead of, you know, getting out the extra hyperactivity energy. I would just subdue it. And that was one thing I noticed, because I went back and watched a stream from a couple months ago, and because I need other clips, because like when I do I'm a mod in like Yoni's stream, and when I visit other streams on the rare occasion that I do, they shout me out. It's always the same clip, so I needed more. So I went through and watched and got a couple clips, and I'll probably continue doing that. But one thing I noticed was that I am coming out of my shell a lot more since quitting weed. It was a way of keeping me like I try to be. If I was in my own space where I felt fully comfortable, I would definitely be a more fun person. So I'm excited for whatever that's to come. Right now I'm still like in the transition process of finishing developing my frontal lobe. And like getting my life set up so I can have my own space and things like that. Not that I feel like anyone would be upset with me if I was loud and obnoxious. It's just like a personal thing. I can't like film or do things if somebody is around me. I get like all anxious and shit, so I'm excited for having my own space to do that at some point. Soon, I hope. Yeah, the thing that Randy from South Park said about weed, like way back, he said that the biggest danger of weed is that it makes you okay with being bored, and that's definitely true. It makes you like not want to seek out new skills as much and things like that, but it also makes you, or at least in my case, makes you okay with being like boring. It's easier to not stir the pot, not get out and do anything that people might judge you for. It keeps you subdued. And I'm not cool with that anymore, so I don't like the way it feels. And it makes me question like everything that I do and panic about how I'm gonna be perceived and shit like that, and it's like I have enough problems with that already. I don't need to do that. But that's one of the challenges that I face with my channel and like my channel on Twitch and my channel on YouTube is that like my stuff, my presence on the internet and everything was built up by being drunk and stupid. Not like stupid as in like being drunk made me do stupid things or criminal things or things like that, but just like literally airheaded, not being able to understand like the mechanics of the game that I was playing and just being like loud and obnoxious. And even at the time, I had a really hard time coping with being that person. And I am really glad that I'm not that person anymore. I don't have to, like when I end my streams, I don't panic about them. I don't panic about the things that I say or the things that I did because of how I was being viewed and everything like that. And I would really do that before with alcohol. It was really bad. Like the days after stream, I would be down for like 12 to 24 hours of just trying to cope with myself. It's something I haven't talked about in a while, but I have been pretty open about it. I don't know like what necessarily the cause was. I thought for a while it was the rejection sensitive dysphoria, which is like one of my art pieces if you've seen it. It's not the greatest and I'm working on improving my art too. But obviously improving my employable skills is taking precedent right now. I only like do it for an hour or so before I'm like, I want to do something else, something more stimulating to my brain. By doing it, I mean art. But like, I don't know, just coping with the anxiety of afterwards of being that person. I was not coping well for a long time. And that's the reason that I couldn't honestly keep a schedule, was because I would spend more time down than I thought I would. I would need like multiple days to recover, so I couldn't do like every other day like I do now. But now, like, once I end stream, I don't think about it again, really, unless I'm like thinking about, oh, that could have been a fun clip or something like that. I don't really think about what I do again. But at the same time, I can remember where I am in games, and I can, like, be better at them. And I wasn't able to do that before because I couldn't take the time to focus. I was too busy reacting to dumb shit, and I couldn't keep up with, like, quest stories. I couldn't keep up with, like when we played Conan and stuff, I never got better at it. I never understood it until I quit drinking. Yeah. And it was really difficult too, because when I would like start playing with people off of stream on an off day where I wasn't drinking and I wasn't being obnoxious, I would be in calls, and I've even had like met people in person, and they were like, oh, you're not being all chaotic and saying dicks all the time. It's like, yeah, I'm a person. Like, that's not me. Basically anytime I'd run into a challenge, or like it was a vocal stim kinda, like when I got too bored or I didn't say words and like there was like a moment lull, I would just be like, dicks, you know. And because I didn't do that in person when I was like actually being a person, being a friend, people would like comment on it. Or like when I was in Discords and trying to actually read the game in front of me so I could understand the no, I don't scream dicks at people. Weird, right? I still do sometimes if I run into things in games. Instead of saying like what the fuck, I'll say like what the dick. But I don't do that in like normal circumstances. I'm a pretty quiet person. I am very keep to myself kind of person. So like when I was trying to read things like when we played Dead by Daylight, I didn't understand the mechanics of that game until I quit playing. Because like I would be sitting there trying to read like the different perks and stuff. It's all different now, and I don't understand the system at all because I haven't even like downloaded or opened the game in years. But when I would be sitting there like reading the perks that I was buying with my blood points or whatever, I would get like not yelled at, but so like, oh, Liv's the last one to ready up, and why are you being so quiet? And it's like, I'm trying to understand what's in front of me so I don't feel so stupid all the time. And I'm the type of person who, like, I absolutely hate it when people underestimate my intelligence because I'm a very smart person. And when people, like, treat me like I'm dumb, it gets to me on a certain level. So being that, like, my persona or whatever online was being drunk and dumb was not easy to cope with. I wasn't the person that you invited because you actually enjoyed their brain or thought they were insightful. I was the person that was dumb and fun and made sure everyone had a good time at my own expense, and that's just not good. That's not good for anybody, but let alone me. And I know a lot of people think that I am like selfish now and self-centered now and whatever because I lost a lot of friendships because I don't let people walk on me. Ketchup on mac and cheese. I don't know. I wouldn't do it personally. The only people that I've seen do it personally are children, but if I say that that's for children, I could be offending a lot of people. People got mad at me when I said I didn't like mayo, man. I'm not a big sauce person. I'm not saucy. Except barbecue. Barbecue's pretty good. Yeah, and I've had a lot of people even... It's for children, my friend. Fair, okay? And if... I'll say if it's one of the only ways that you can enjoy things, then don't feel guilt about it, because I have ARFID, so I eat in a very specific way. I eat the exact same thing every single day. It is predictable, it is comfortable for me, and that a lot of people would say that that's childish, but with the amount of instability and unpredictability at the current transition in my life, it's okay to have the same meal every day. But yeah, I have people who actually, like, in my own family and shit like that, have, in the past, called me a bitch because I've said things like, you know, like, what does that have to do with me? Or, like, I don't care about that, you know? Like, if somebody is suffering for their own choices, what's that gotta do with me? Or if somebody says something with the intent that you will do something about it, but without directly asking you, hey, can you do this? They'll just say, oh, I really need this done. That's just emotional manipulation. So me not reacting to it does not make me a bitch. Makes you bad at communicating. That's also the type of mac and cheese I think matters, because like if you have a good like homemade baked mac and cheese and you put ketchup on that, I don't know if I can forgive you. But if it's like Kraft mac and cheese and you're just trying to get through the cardboardy grittiness, I get it. Like when I was a kid, my mom used to make steak and she would always do it well done, and she always claimed that that's the best and only way to eat steak, and everybody who had it rare or medium rare was just crazy or whatever, was lying or whatever. So she would make it and it would be so difficult that I couldn't even like chew it. So I would just coat it in ketchup just to get through it. So if that's one of your coping mechanisms, go for it. Slather that bitch in some ketchup, I don't care. But if somebody goes through the work of making you like a homemade mac and cheese, if grandma does it at Thanksgiving and you ruin it, then maybe you're a little bit of an asshole. I'm just kidding. Jokes. I would never personally make fun of somebody for the way that they eat something because of how fucking weird I am about food. A lot of it has to do with like my background and my sensory issues and things like that, but the principle of the thing, nah. Cause like, yeah, shoe leather, this is not good. But one of the main principles of, in my opinion, like sharing food is you never blend the dipping sauces. So if we're sharing a plate of fries and we have like multiple dipping sauces and you take a fry and you go all the way through all of the dipping sauces, you're an asshole, okay? And one could argue that cheese sauce that goes on mac and cheese is a sauce. So mixing them with ketchup. I'm just finding ways. Finding ways to justify my position, which is a completely subjective thought. But yeah, I used to know a guy who did that, and it was the most irritating and annoying thing. You do not mix the dipping sauces, because now there's mustard up in my ketchup, up in my barbecue sauce. And I put them all there for very specific reasons, and I want to enjoy them individually. I'm just a different kind of dumb now. There's thought behind what I do, but I'll die on stupid hills. Who cares? But yeah, that whole like expecting people to do something about your situation or the things that you, most of the time it's choices that you make, and being like, oh, I really have to handle this or whatever with hopes that they'll handle it for you, is emotional manipulation. And I can't say that I haven't done that in the past, because, well, I was told that I can't ask direct questions, so that's one. If I asked direct questions of like, can you help me with this, then it would make the other person overwhelmed. So I had to find different ways of going about it. But that kind of thing is like a people pleaser's kryptonite. So like, they find all of the things of you saying like, oh, I really need this done, or I really need this done, and they handle all that for you on the like off chance that you'll start treating them like a human being, and it creates a power dynamic that is not okay. And it's not healthy for the person, like, it's definitely not healthy for either of them, but it's especially not healthy for the people pleaser. And it puts them in, like, a really rough situation where they have, like, all of this obligation in order to keep whatever it is with you, of, like, whether it's peace in the house, or peace in the friendship, or a situation where they feel like they can come to you about things because they've done enough for you that you might do something for them. It's really fucked up, man. So if somebody has an expectation of you without communicating that expectation, then it's a secret, and how are you supposed to fucking read somebody's mind? Stupid. Stop it. I don't know. I'm not talking to anybody in particular. It's just a pattern that I used to encounter a lot, and why I was called a bitch because I wasn't acting on those things and saying like, why is that my problem? Like, they did it to themselves. Why is it my problem now? Well, if you don't help, then you... Well, why do I have to help? When was I assigned the job role of the fixer? Because I don't remember applying.
Someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You think I would look pretty.
That used to be
on your arm once you cover up my bruises.
that used to be my personality, which honestly I never really had the time to develop a personality because I was always spending my time making sure everybody around me was happy. But that became my role, and like everything was fixing everyone else's shit, and I never got the chance to develop myself or, you know, fix my own situation. So I've been spending the last few months doing all of that and fixing all of the things that needed fixed for myself, so I can finally be in a better situation. And I guess I just still have that kind of magical thinking that comes along with those trauma personalities of like, I'll be able to do this in like 1 week or in like 1 month and I'll completely change my life, and it's just not possible. It's little habits and little changes that over the course of like a month or so you realize that there's been grand change, but it wasn't because you suddenly overnight decided to get your shit together and then the next day you got your shit together. That's why I couldn't really be consistent with anything. And alcohol would let me cope with being like that for, you know, the times when it would like flare up and get bad, and then I would drink and have a good time, only stunting my brain and realizing like days later that I came back and hit me in 2 times, 3 times, sometimes 10 times. So I learned to handle momentary comfort because I know that if I put it off or numb myself for a while, it's always gonna come back. You're always gonna end up feeling it on a different day. I'll say like drinking alcohol is stealing happiness from tomorrow. And I think it's even worse. But being able to understand, like learn and understand more about like neuroscience and shit has allowed me to make the changes that I need to make, because it's like, oh, it's like science backed. But at the same time, if you're not ready to make those changes, when you get greeted with that information of being able to, like, the new information that challenges the way that you're living, you can't handle it, you freak out, and you're like, no, they're wrong, and like shut it down and everything. But it's, even if it's the most scientific thing, it's like, no, it's like, I'm special, I'm different for whatever reason. Like, all of the science says that alcohol stunts your brain, but somebody who is not ready to give it up will be like, well, it helps me do this and it helps me do that. It doesn't. It doesn't. It actually makes it more difficult to cope, but you're just ignoring that. And that's exactly who I was. But being able to put those things down and allow my brain to develop and learn again, and getting the sleep that I need without smoking and all of that, I've been able to enjoy things more because I understand them deeper. Because like take gaming for examples, if you don't fully understand the mechanics of the game in front of you, you can only get so far before you hit a wall of things that you can do. because at some point there's a challenge. That's the whole point of it being a game. And if you stay at the same level for however long, I didn't mean literally, but I meant like knowledge level, but again, if you stay at the same level with like your character in a game, you can't progress and you can't do harder bosses because you don't have the skill. And the only way to get that skill is to learn and adapt new ideas. So I can enjoy things deeper now because I can handle greater challenges. In like, not only games, but in, you know, everything in life. If you're avoiding discomfort, you'll avoid things that are boring or things that, I don't know, life. Things that grant you a better life. Then you won't, you know, be able to put yourself in a better situation because you're just, you know, making excuses of all the reasons that you can't. And your window of tolerance for hard things or uncomfortable things or whatever, because it's not big enough, you can't take on greater challenges. So you can't literally level up in life. Because you're choosing what's more comfortable for me right now versus what's going to be more comfortable for me over time, and being able to tolerate the circumstances now of things being boring or uncomfortable to make things better in the future. You're more focused on just like, now I have to make everything okay right now, and if I'm okay right now, then I'll get better, and that's never gonna work. And that's not just me saying that, that's, you know, science-based and all of that. But I think because I spent so much of my time in my life making things better for everybody else and prioritizing everyone else's comfort around me versus like me getting better at things, that when I finally had to like stop and do the things for myself, that was one of the reasons why I like was going so hard at creating as I did. And like why I did the podcast stuff is because it's things that I wanted to say for a while that I never got to. And then once I did those and completed those things, and once I, you know, had all the pages that I was gonna have, like the social media pages that I was gonna have, and do the things that I wanted to do on them, once I did that, I didn't have consistency anymore because I got it out, you know? When you've been stifled for so long and then it gets out, then it's like, oh, okay, now what now? well, better make my life a little better. Better learn something new so I can be more comfortable. Because even though that was the way that I survived for so long, and that is the pattern that I know of, like, just trying to please the people around me in order to gain some kind of safety, it never actually felt safe. Whereas if I have the resources and I have the ability to take care of myself and the ability to keep myself safe, that grants so much more than trying to get the other people around me to care about me. And, you know, that probably comes from childhood, of like trying to make your parents happy so they'll keep a roof over your fucking head. That's probably why it's not good to throw that at your children. Like when they need more from you and you're like, well, you're lucky you have a roof over your head and a bed to sleep in. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to threaten your kids with that. So it's like you behave the way that they want you to in order to keep the basic necessities around you. It's a really fucked up thing. And nobody should be bragging or saying that you should be grateful for those things. Because you didn't ask to be put into this world. They did that. So yeah, they should be put in a roof over your fucking head. You decided to have a child. I don't know. I don't think most people should be parents, if I'm honest. Because most people, when faced with new knowledge, new understanding, or new ways that they have to go about something, they avoid it because, again, discomfort, it's uncomfortable. You should get a permit or a license to have children. That's probably the reason that I don't, because, like, when you think about, like, I don't know, holding a baby or having baby for Vane, like, ooh, it's a baby kind of things. Like, yeah, sure, of course, you'd want to do it. It's the same as having a puppy. Who doesn't want a fucking puppy? They're adorable. But when you talk about the fact that you have to show up for them every day as they grow, and you have to do things, and you're not able to do other things because your child needs you. That's when I'm like, nah, I'd rather not. I have some days, even, that I get annoyed with my cat for needing things, then I should not be a parent. I don't, though. I used to have them more. The days where I was annoyed with, like, the cat or whatever. I think I used to have them more because it strikes a chord with you when you're unable to provide the thing that they need. And there was things that I knew that I wanted to do, I knew that I had to do, but I didn't have the resources and means to do them, so when she asked for it, it gets, triggering. But as we've talked about, I was able to get a lot of those things, and now we're living happier and we're closer than we've ever been, which is crazy because she's always been, like, sleeping on my chest and all of that through everything, through my worst moments. And actually, I got this in the mail today. I ordered it. It's a special harness thing that's not supposed to be so uncomfortable because she doesn't like harnesses. She hates clothes, no matter how hard others would try to put clothes on her. She hates them. But that one's supposed to be, it's supposed to be made for cats that don't like wearing, like, harnesses and stuff. So she can go outside more and run around. She hasn't tried it on yet because, if I'm honest, it smells like a factory. So I gotta wash it or something, but that was another thing that I've been wanting to get for years, so she could have more excitement and, stimulation in her day, because the majority of the time that I've had her, she's been forced in a small apartment or a small room. And I've always wanted to give her more, so that was one way of doing that. Getting the toys that she actually is playing with, and getting the brush that actually works for her. But if you're going to be triggered by the things that you can't provide for, let alone your pet, you shouldn't be having children. She's passed out. For some reason, when I got groceries, like, I think it was like a week or two ago, it didn't come in a paper bag, it came in plastic bags this time, which it, like, never does. I think it's because I ordered from a different grocery store. And she has been obsessed with the plastic bags. So she's sleeping on a plastic bag right now. Even though she has a blanket down there, she has multiple beds everywhere. I put out, like, things, like, I have this, like, those lap desks that have, like, the cushion on the back. If I put it upside down somewhere, she'll lay on it 100%. So I do that sometimes, just, like, switch things up. But she chooses a plastic grocery bag instead. But it's okay. I really enjoy her. And I did figure out that there's like a hole in her cat tree at the bottom that's not like the screws are bigger. They're like wider. So it's not where like one of the legs can screw in to switch it up, because this one you can switch up like the legs and stuff. But I was able to plug the little the handle for like the wire toy in it, because the stand is like sticky and I don't have anything to stick it to without like ruining the fucking walls or something. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that dick. So I plugged it into her cat tree, and she was actually playing with it for the first time. And it was a couple days ago, and I'm just like sitting here like watching a video, is facing this way, and she just like was pouncing and attacking that, and she was attacking me in the process. But I couldn't like laugh or enjoy, because if I laugh at her, she gets embarrassed and she'll stop doing whatever she's doing. So I had to like just sit there quietly and enjoy her enjoying the thing without like laughing or emoting at all. Just have to let her do it so she can have fun. She's just as traumatized as me. That's probably why we're a good fit. And I hope that I can get into a place and give her a better life before she gets too old. Because she's already an old lady. She's a teenager. Makes me sad. But, yeah. It's a good time. And fixing myself and fixing my mental shit and giving myself better resources and all of that has allowed me to be a better pet parent to her and allow her to live a better life. So that's always a positive ripple that's happening. Exciting changes. And it's really rewarding when you're not directly trying to affect people or things around you, like, you know, trying to get her to be quiet by giving her whatever it is that she wants. And instead, like, building a better life and her becoming more happy because I'm being, like, a better parent, like, as an effect, or, you know, just being around it. It's really rewarding to see it affect the people around you without directly trying to please the people around you, if that makes sense. It's a really rewarding thing. And, like, seeing, you know, healthier friendships develop and those toxic ones die off, and, you know, seeing things get better for those people because of being around you, getting your shit together, it's a really rewarding thing. So people who think that they can't get better because it's a selfish thing to do or whatever, it might be, and we have like this whole notion of selfishness being a problem. It's like I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily a society thing or if it's just like the circles that I've been around, of that, like, people who put themselves first are inherently selfish, which is inherently a negative thing. Like, I can't get better because I have to please these people. Like, those people will get better as a result of you getting better, and they'll be less reliant on you if you get better. And so, in a way, doing things for yourself, it's actually better for them. Thought about getting any other piercing? I mean, I've thought about it, but to be honest, I don't think I want it. The only thing I would do is, I had my nipples pierced and I lost that, to an emergency MRI. I had to have them taken out, and I never got them back in, so I would get those redone, but no, I've tried to get my septum done, but apparently I have a deviated septum, which is probably why I breathe so loudly into my mic. I never feel like I am, but then I listen to it back and I'm like, all the time. Because I can't fucking breathe, I can't get air. And I have 8 piercings in my ears. I have my conch done. But until I get to a point that I can, like, properly buy, like, the right jewelry and stuff, which is not like the surgical steel, whatever. That's the kind I have now that it's just bought online and it's not necessarily safe or great for your piercings and they don't look good. But if I could finally afford to get like proper piercing jewelry and whatever, then I would, do more with my ears. But yeah, I have 8. I have 4 on each side. My front ones are stretched, so I don't really wear anything. And then there's a conch, and then 2 cartilage. And on this side, I have 2 on the bottom and 2 cartilage on the top. I only have the conch on the one side because it bled like a bitch. And now I know why, because the EDS and our connective tissue isn't great. So our cartilage isn't great, but I think the piercer who did it was kind of new because it was in a town that I wasn't in before, and he was more concerned than I was that it was bleeding a lot. But yeah, overall I have 11 piercings total, but I have to get them redone. I have to get my ears either like surgically fixed so they're smaller, or I have to get them like stretched to where they're equal, because one of my ears, I used to have them, I think it was one size above a 00, so it was the first like inch size on both sides, and then I ended up having a blowout in one of my ears, and when the blowout healed, the scar tissue around the hole doesn't stretch anymore. So one of them is bigger than the other. So I rarely wear jewelry in those. But no, not 8 in each. I have 8 total for my ears. I have 4 in each side. I had 7 for the longest time, but I ended up getting the conch, which made it 8. And so I might do that, because I never wear matching jewelry, as you can see. This one is like one of those black things, and then this one is a butterfly. It's just a butterfly stud. So I would do it more like artsy, to where it was like, a butterfly, a flower, things like that. So it was like one cohesive piece as both of my ears, and actually like take the art of piercing seriously. But other than that, I don't really want like a nostril piercing, because I already have a large nose, so I didn't want to bring more attention to it. The septum wasn't bad because like it's centered, and sometimes it can make like things look slimmer. But with having the EDS, my skin either takes really well to piercing or really not well. So like if I did my eyebrow, it would 100% migrate out. And I don't think I would look good with an eyebrow piercing. Or like a bridge piercing or things like that, they would just migrate. So it's like, I don't want to scar my face worse, because scarring again with EDS is worse. And like most people, when they get a piercing and then take it out and it scars, you don't notice it after a while, but with me it's always noticeable. But I've had my lip piercing since I was like 19. Yes, baby, what do you want? Absolutely. But yeah, with my skin, it would be noticeable, and in my opinion, it's not worth it. And also, like, if I got my nipples redone, it wouldn't be just paying for the re-piercing, it would be paying to get proper jewelry. It's not only comfortable, but cute. Because the entire time I had them, I had the same bars that I got them done, and they just have like the silver balls on them. Even though I wanted something cute, like little flowers or something. But I couldn't change the jewelry in those myself, and I still probably couldn't. So I would want to go like the extra bit to be able to get them done with something cute and worthwhile. But no, it's not something. And even though I have 5 tattoos, I want to get 2 of them removed before I get a tattoo, so that's another expensive and painstaking process that I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to achieve. But when it comes to like body modifications, that would probably be my next thing, is getting my tattoos removed. I want the 2 on my back removed, just to, like, not completely removed, but just to a point that they are easier to cover up because they're deep black ink in my skin. And like, you can, a little bit on the shoulder one, but definitely in the one in my the middle of my back, you can feel the tattoo. Like, I can feel where it is because it was like they scarred my skin too bad. And my tattoo artist who did my chest, my arm, and my wrist, he won't do anything to cover them up because it would be just making things worse. So I would get them to a point, get like my skin to a point that I could get it properly tattooed, and it wouldn't be as bad of an issue. But yeah, modification-wise, it's probably more likely that I would get them removed, or if I did like cosmetic stuff, I would get my teeth done. My teeth are in bad shape. Partially because the genetic issues, but also partially because mono destroyed my teeth. Mono and my inability to eat anything besides like bread. Like just bread with butter. Not even toast, like it wasn't even toasted, it was just bread and butter. And it wrecked my teeth. So, cosmetically, I would get my teeth done before I got anything else done. So, if you ever see me with a nice set of teeth, just know I'm doing well in life. And I'm finally doing good for myself. If I ever make a lot, that's where it'll go. Yes, baby. What do you want? What do you want? But I don't know if I would have got the... And I like... Every time I see somebody say this after like doing the period of healing or whatever, saying I don't know if I would ever have gotten them had I been able to, like, if my brain had been able to develop properly, I probably wouldn't have gotten my modifications. I don't hate them, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not as enthusiastic about it as I once was, because, like, now I'll never not be seen as, like, alternative, and, you know, my life of being emo and wearing all black and everything was never like a choice that I consciously made, even though like I convinced myself it was. It was mostly because like nobody ever taught me how to dress properly or style myself properly, so I don't know what would match and things, so I would just and then anytime I tried to step out of it and like wear something girly or whatever, somebody would make a comment or say something degrading about it. So I'm never not gonna be alternative now because of, you know, all of my tattoos and everything. And if I take my piercings out, you can still see them, so it's always gonna be a part of that, and I don't know if I would have made that choice had my brain developed properly before I changed myself. Yes, love, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? You can't even see. The real star of the show has arrived. She's looking at herself in the monitor. The monitor's like low. This is my drawing tablet, so it's a little lower. This is the model behind our kitty emotes. You're a great model. That's why the patterns on the black and white cat are what they are, because of her and her little black helmet that is also super fancy eyeliner. Didn't de-shed her yesterday. Can't remember why. I also got new litter to try. It was the one that we tried. It's very sneezy and she's had some gross moments with that, just sneezing, and there's, you know, I don't want to embarrass her, so I won't go into detail. Yeah, also because my because my doctor commented on her like size. I was thinking a lot about it, so I also got the harness, so she can experience new things and go out and like smell the world, because that's what's exciting for their brains. But also because maybe she'll get a little bit more exercise. Although she doesn't eat a lot. Like, she's not. Don't jump. There are 2 open containers. One of them's water and one of them's Gatorade, so I don't want to clean up the sticky mess, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. The place she would land is both of my fucking drinks are sitting there. I'm excited to see how she's gonna handle everything. Going out into the world. Apparently we don't live too far from like a river, so it's closer. Like, if I go one way to the pharmacy, it's closer than the pharmacy on the other way, but I don't think I've seen the river. When I went out the other day, I know she does. She wants to get on the desk, but please don't. Please don't. Thank you. Someone said to me, like, yeah, you live really close to the river, and I was like, oh, apparently. I've seen it on the map, but my only answer, it's not, yeah, I've seen it. It's apparently. Need to get out more. But I don't do so well on my own. That's why she's gonna come with me. I don't take her out very much, because, you know, that's not her lifestyle. Oh, my elbow. That crack was loud. But the times that I do take her out in, like, her little adventure backpack, everybody loves her. Please don't get on the desk. I gave you soup. I don't know what else you want. You have soup. It's the worst when I'm trying to, like, do work or type something serious. And she keeps doing that because I'm afraid that she'll press buttons. Because she definitely does. And, like, if I'm not doing anything, I'll let her push onto my desk sometimes. But I'm afraid of, like, her accidentally pressing, like, submit or something on my work and, like, me not finishing the task, so I get in trouble at work. I don't know if I'm gonna diet again or not. dye my hair again. The reason that I did lighten it, and I don't use bleach, I use color remover. But the reason I did it was because I was going to dye my hair again. I had enough, I still do have enough dye to do a split dye, but I don't know. I don't like my natural color because I look too much like my mom with it and it depresses me. Sorry, radical honesty. So I've just been doing the blonde because it's easy to maintain. Pretty much like once a month maybe I do purple shampoo on it and I let it sit on my hair for 20 minutes and it makes my hair kind of silvery but takes the yellow out. But I don't know. And now that I'm trying to get a position in like a salary situation, it's probably best I don't. At least until until the hiring process is over. Till the contracts are signed. But my roots are like really bad. I usually dye them before this, but I just haven't felt like it. But at the same time, if I just let it all grow out to like my natural hair color, I'll get down on myself. It's not a good situation. I've thought recently for like a second at a time, it wasn't like deep thought, but like of doing like a darker brown or something, because my hair is naturally like a blondish color. Like it's pretty much like the blondest that an adult can be. Because like platinum blonde, there is no adult that is naturally platinum blonde. It doesn't happen. Blondes are not real. Once you like get past like the puberty age, your hair turns brown. So I've thought about doing like a reddish brown color for my hair. But I don't know if I can I don't know if I can commit. And if I hate it, it's gonna be a process and destroy my hair to get it back to a color that I do like, so I don't know. But I have had the thought because I know a lot of people recently have like done like the color matching and seeing like whether you're a summer or a winter or whatever, and what colors are better for your skin and bring out like the better parts of your face for lack of better explanation. And I don't think that the blonde is necessarily that for me, especially like a cool blonde. I think it would probably be a more warm blonde, but unfortunately I don't have those skills. I have lighten and tone, that's pretty much it. And the tone is purple, not not like a warm blonde tone. And like I don't box dye my hair. I like get like the professional stuff from like Sally's, and I mix the color myself, because if I do change my mind, it is so much harder to get box dye out of your hair than it is to get the colors that I do. Plus like box dye is like a volume 40 developer, and even when I'm lightening I only ever use 20 because it doesn't take that much to get my hair to change colors, because my hair is lacking the proteins that bond color, which is why my hair is the color that it is. And why people can't use the color remover that I do, typically. It typically only, it's only supposed to work if your hair is like dyed, and then you use the color remover to get that color out of your hair. It's the only time that it's actually supposed to work. But because my protein bonds aren't good, they're not healthy, then it works on my hair. And I've tried it on other people and it doesn't work as well. Even my own sister, I used it on her and it did not process the same way it does for mine. Because like I can do it and leave it for maybe 20 minutes and my hair does this, you know, and other people do it and it turns like a weird funky orange color that's really hard to get out too, so I don't know. I've thought about that. So if one day I'm randomly like a reddish blonde, like an auburn, it didn't come out of nowhere. It exists there. It's a little worm in my brain. It's gonna make its way through. I don't know. I have such a hard time with that though, because when I see other people do the color matching or whatever, it's like, oh my god, so obvious that like her hair or her face brightens up with this color. But when I do it to myself, it's like, Shadowy, what's going on? It has been a long time. But to be fair, for the majority of that time, I have not been streaming, so. I think I'm coming up on almost a year back. So that's exciting. And we've been doing different games. Although I've done plenty of Skyrim and Fallout still. Those are actually still up on the channel. Because it's been less than, I think it's 90 days that if you have Prime, your VODs stay. But on Mondays we do chatting and tarot and stuff. And I've just been talking about shit. I've heard a lot about Fallout London, but I did not get it. I can't remember if I got Fallout 4 remodded and stuff, but we're still friends on Steam, so I still see you play 7 Days to Die. I've heard it's really good. I've heard it's a good time. I've heard really good things about it, except it got delayed once and all of that, or maybe more than once, but recently there was a big delay. But not too long ago, like maybe a month ago now, I didn't lose my PC. I like had to wipe my PC because I had a virus. And I got Skyrim back up with like my mods and everything so I can finish my campaign, but I can't remember if I ever finished modding Fallout. Even though now I know what I'm doing when I mod, it's... Oh yeah, I did, but it was having display issues. When I would bring it up on my, when I would run it, it would, like, the screen would flash, and, like, if I got it to stay for a few minutes, it would end up crashing a bit later, so I just didn't want to mess with it. So, we've been doing, Punishing Grey Raven on Wednesdays, and Alien Isolation on Fridays. And Mondays, we just sit here and talk for a bit. It's a good time. I did one Destiny stream, but that was because it was my birthday. It was my birthday, so I went back to Destiny and brushed some dust off of my Warlock after not playing for like a year. And now I just play casually. Learning stuff to increase my career aspects, so I haven't been putting as much time into gaming. Yeah. There's a lot. Especially in the last year that I haven't been playing, there's been so many updates. Like, there's not, like, bounties really anymore. Like, it's a different thing. I can't remember if we worked out if I had Warframe or not. I think I do in Epic. My Epic library is extensive. It's epic, if you would say. But I haven't played Warframe yet. Conan has a lot of updates too. It was like when I started playing it in 2018, it was still old, but in the past year or two, they've had a complete update with their system. It has a battle pass now, and their like journey system is weird, but it's a good time. I can't remember where I am with that. I think It's one of the ones that I have almost 100%ed. I only have a couple things left to do with Isle of Sipta, and then I'll have 100% on that too. For now. That's fair. That's fair. The reason I stopped playing Destiny was because I got burned out after what was it? What was the last what was the last one called? Not the Final Shape because that's the newest one. But I basically grinded the last one before that. Lightfall, that was it. That was the one we got Strand, and that's I grinded that for, it was over 12 hours a day, and I streamed the majority of it on YouTube. And I burned out so hard I didn't play for a year. Sons of the Forest. Does that have anything to do with like the forest? I've heard that's like, isn't that like kind of scary? Scary, unless I'm confusing it with something else. I thought the forest was a scary, survival. I would say like Conan, but with zombies, but Conan does kind of have zombies. Especially Isle of Sipta has like pirate zombies. Yeah, Witch Queen for Destiny 2 I played, but I was, because it was like kind of shorter, it was a smaller DLC. I thought that Lightfall was going to be similar, so I was like, oh yeah, let's grind that out. Don't do that. Okay, it's a sequel, so that makes sense. I haven't played The Forest. I also haven't played 7 Days to Die, but I have it. That's one of the many ones that I own. I have no idea what that was. Yeah, I came in Destiny at Beyond Light was the one. It's 2 hours. Jeez. Let's see. I think my most is Destiny. I have 1,800 hours. Wasting my life. Skyrim, I have 400 on this account, and I think I had 700 on the other account, so it's up there too. My Fallout 4. I only have 430, but again, I think it was on when I was playing before. Years ago, I was playing on a different account, so I probably have. It's not close to Skyrim where I had 700. That was definitely the most hours I had in a game before I started streaming. Oh wow. I definitely thought I played Fallout New Vegas more than I've played Ghostwire Tokyo, but I have 155 in each. Stardew Valley, I have 400. Oh, wasting my life. Yeah, Destiny is definitely the most. With 1,800. I don't think there's anything else that's even close. Bioshock is less than 80, and I have it mostly 100%ed too. Damn. It's Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail was 130 hours, and I 100%ed it. It was a good time. I definitely spent a lot of my time invested in the story, thinking that that was going to be the biggest part, but I think the majority of the achievements was endgame content. It was after the epilogue. So I probably would have approached that one differently now, but Shit happens, am I right? Just kidding, I know I am. I'm always right. I have 19 out of 23 for Destiny 2, but at the same time, also I did get an achievement July 1st this year, because when I reopened Destiny after a year, I got the achievement for a Triumph Seal, which I had for, obviously I had it for over a year before I ever got it. But the majority of the ones, so like Nightfall Strike on Master difficulty, Collections Badge, Nightfall Strike on Grandmaster, and then complete the Last Wish raid. The Last Wish raid wasn't even available for like the time, a good portion of the time that I was actively playing. But I've never done a raid, and I've never been able to complete a Master or Grandmaster strikes. Some of the dungeon stuff I have been able to, and Lost Sectors I definitely have mastered, because you have to be solo to master them. But I've never had like a group of people to play with, so I don't know. Starting to think about having a Discord again, but it's time, it's energy. It easily becomes toxic or deserted. I appreciate it. I'm not the best at reaching out to make plans of any kind. But it's not for my lack of interest in friendship of the people who ask, or people who say that. It's just me being me. I'm bad at reaching out. Yeah, I shut my Discord down. And like I have one now that's just like my mods and stuff for when things happen to me and I have to update people because they don't have like other social media. But like recently because we've been playing PGR and stuff, there's things that I've wanted to like update the community, but nobody on like Instagram would care. That's fair. I've been streaming regularly. I have not missed a day. Well, I had a day a couple weeks ago, but that was like a low brain point. I haven't had like a day that I didn't intend to miss and I ended up missing. My days off are scheduled and planned. It's just one everything. Yeah. It's a grind, but it feels good sometimes when you have that sparkly badge. Like, my fairy tale badge was like rainbow for having 100%. It's a rainbow and shiny. And I want more 100%s on my account because I want to have like a badge for it. High aspirations, this one. So far, it's just Fairy Tail, South Park, both South Park games. I think that's all. I'm close on a few games. I don't think I have that one. I've never played that one. But I feel like we've talked about that before. Pretty much every Monday we go through my game library. I was working on Fallout, even though it's not an achievement, I was working on getting all the power armor and all the follower perks and everything. And then my PC crashed. Sad face. I can still do it, it's just I have to do troubleshooting beforehand, and when I sit down to like play a game, I don't want to have to troubleshoot, I just want to be able to open the game and get into it, so... I have 74 and 19. 74 uncategorized, because I keep the ones that I play regularly and like the favorites. That's fair. That's why I started doing it, was because I was playing Skyrim and enjoying it, and there's a lot of achievements in Skyrim for just doing quests and doing, like, building up shit. Like, doing crafting and stuff to a certain point, and that's when I started going, like, oh my gosh, I could almost get 100% on this, and it's like years later, and I still don't have 100% on Skyrim. But when Fairy Tail came out, I wanted to play it really bad, and a lot of people knew it was my favorite anime, so they wanted me to play it. So when I came back to streaming last year, that's what I started with, was Fairy Tail. And I 100%ed it. And it's kind of sad because those streams are ones that are they're really low energy, because starting out with them, I was still, like, I wasn't fully out of, like, my bedridden situation yet. So I was, like, on the floor. Most of the time without a cam. Just streaming the Fairy Tail, and they weren't as fun or interesting. And if you think about how far I've come from that point, my streams aren't nearly as boring as they were. But I didn't have energy to do anything. Even like a couple months ago, I didn't have energy to do anything extra outside of like my standard day-to-day stuff. If I spent too long writing or too long focused on a game even, it was exhausting to the point that I would be like extra tired the next day. So it's only been the past like month or so that I've been able to maintain energy levels and be able to have more of a balance in my shit of being like doing fun things and be doing productive things, doing work things, becoming a person again. But yeah, this time last year I was still mostly bedridden. It's crazy to think about. I had a nightmare recently that I was like still in that situation, and I woke up so happy. So happy that I wasn't there. So happy that I wasn't being ignored constantly. It was so great. That was probably brought on by the lack of work stuff available on my dashboard. With like some kind of internal panic that like I'm never gonna be able to have it again. It's all about perspective, I guess. And giving yourself the time to be able to have perspective. Take a step back. But honestly, like, the reason that I've done as much of the gaming as I have is, like, back in 2015 or 2016 when I first started playing Skyrim, was because I had severe cysts on my ovaries, and I was in so much pain that I couldn't, like, stand up. So I would sit through, like, I was basically, like, nocturnal at the time, and I would sit up all night and play Skyrim. And that's, like, what got me through. And then through most of the bedridden situation was Destiny, and then coming out of it was like Fairy Tail and Stardew Valley. And Animal Crossing. I probably have a lot of hours in Animal Crossing, but I don't pull out my Switch much anymore. I did a little bit around July, and I did my birthday and stuff on the island, and that was really cute. I really enjoyed that. I put a lot of stake in my Animal Crossing friendships. Not like I have friends in the game, I don't. I'm talking about my villagers. I don't have like any friends on my Switch. But I barely play it. The only reason I have it is for Animal Crossing. That's because I wanted Animal Crossing like more than anything. Stardew Valley is another fun one. I have it on my Switch. I have it on my phone even. But I don't play those as much because I can't mod them, and I can mod them on my PC. And I can have a cute little heart-themed farm and shit. That, and I absolutely have to have the thing where it shows like a little heart, like text bubble if you haven't said hi to all of your animals in the day. Otherwise, I completely forget about my animals, and I'm like in the mine from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. And then all my animals end up hating me and not producing the shit that I need them to produce. Like, it's just real life problems. Stardew is such a good game, though. I also have Sunhaven, which I haven't done, like, much with. I bought it when it first came out, and it has upgraded so much since then. Like, when I first started playing it, and I even streamed a little bit, it, like, the only thing that you could play was, like, a human, just like, Stardew Valley. It was basically the same thing. But now you can be like an elemental or an elf, or I think there's like angel. There's so much been added to that game, and it's good. I wanna still do that one, and I still want 100% Stardew Valley because I get so into it, and I get like so much done to a certain point that I'm almost at the point of getting achievements, and then I stop playing for months. And then I can't just pick it up where I left off. I have to start an entire new farm. And I get to about the same point again, and then I end up stop playing. And it's all the same issue. But I love that game. That is definitely one of my favorite games. And like, obviously, I used to take it with me basically everywhere, because I'd have it on my phone or on my Switch when I was sitting in doctor's appointments and shit for way too long. That was my jam. Probably one of the only reasons that I pulled myself out was the cozy games that I got into. Because the only other option when you're not able to get up and do anything for yourself is like being chronically online, and that was so bad for my mental health. It made me feel like I was never gonna get out of it. It felt like I was gonna have to spend my life like that. And now I can just go walk 2 miles on a whim, and it's less than a year. That's pretty amazing. And my heart condition has improved to the point that I can play scary games again, because I was playing Alien, and that was so good. I am playing Alien, but I meant I was. Last week I was playing it. And I had to stop in a place where it was like, where there were still hospitals nearby, so the Alien was definitely nearby. And like, part of me is so antsy to like get back into it and get to a point where I could be safe again. It's a good way to experience that anxiety without having to experience that anxiety, you know? That's why most people like scary movies and shit like that. So you can experience that adrenaline rush without having to put yourself in any danger. Which I didn't think I'd be able to do. I think even like a month ago when we were talking, because it's been less than a month since I did Pan's Labyrinth, and we were talking about how I wouldn't be able to do scary like movies that were actually scary because of my whole brain and heart situation, and I probably can now, but thing is, I'm way more skeptical of everything now, so like paranormal shit doesn't get me anymore. Although the only thing that does is like deep sea. So if there's a good deep sea horror, I would probably like it. I liked that Kristen Stewart one, but I watched that years ago. That was pretty good. Also terrifying, being trapped under like in this like underground structure and it starts caving in. Obviously, there would be no survivors in the situation, but because it's, you know, movie fantasy or whatever, then there were, you know, people fighting for their lives still. That might get me. But ghosts don't do it anymore. I got too skeptical. And now I know nothing is real. It's been centuries of ghost hunting and we still don't have like an actual proof of a ghost. I say in the tarot stream. I'm close to 100% on Bioshock as well. Not 2, just the original. And I never finished Bioshock Infinite. Do I have that one? I do have that one. 46 hours. That one was fun, but I remember it used to get me with where you have to jump and like grab onto like it's not a zip line, but essentially a zip line. So I think that could be fun now. I have so many games I want to put in rotation, but I do a lot better when I'm like on a schedule. A scheduled thing. Because if I have to like decide every Wednesday what I'm gonna play, it's way more taxing on me than if I just say every Wednesday I'm gonna play Punishing Gray Raven. At least for the next month, you know. It's the same thing of having the same dinner every day. Less decisions allow me to put my mental energy into more important decisions that I need to make to get my life back on track. But I figured that I have to do chapter 8, which I think is the newest one. I have to do chapter 8 so I can go and do the hidden part of chapter 7. So I thought that the reason that my chapter 7 on Punishing Gray Raven was 67% was because I hadn't done the Roland fight. And I like vividly remember this a couple days ago. It said it wasn't complete, and I tried it a couple times and I failed, and I ended up like exiting out and retreating and shit and like learning and watching the videos. And then I went back in to do it and it said I had completed it with like the 3 stars. So I'm like, I guess I'll take it. But he's one of the ones I can't for some reason do well with, even on not playing him, but him being a boss, like in the story or when he's in like the Phantom Pain cage. I just sit there and like get the absolute shit beat out of me before I eventually just give up and walk away. But I am close to my limit today. It is about that time. I'm still gonna stick with the stuff this week. But if we're not... I want to say if we're not feeling the story for Punishing Gray Raven, we can switch and do like Honkai Star Rail or something else for Wednesdays. But as soon as like I start getting into the actual story, I'm probably gonna be just as invested as I was for Liseko. I'm on 56 pulls out of 60 and I still don't have her. So hopefully I either do that tomorrow or Wednesday for stream. I only have like 160 points to pull and I need 250, so I either have to put extra time into it or I don't know. I don't want to put money into it. I have more important things to buy, like hat harnesses. To make our life better. Hours, I was adjusting towards the cat. You see that at my feet now. But yeah, I'm getting hungry and shit. No, I never intend to put money into games. Unless there's like a thing where I will 100% be reimbursed, then I will, but that only happens with the like game testing and stuff. When they put you on a project, sometimes they'll fully reimburse you for certain purchases, so you are able to move through the game and get the perks that you need and hit the places that you need to hit. So that way I'll do it, but other than that, no, I'm good. But it makes you want to so bad. And like, I think it was yesterday, I did a pull, and instead of being like purple in the beam, it was gold, and I got so excited, and then it was an A version of the guy with pink hair, I forget his name. That's fair. I've been finding different ways to get the cards. Like when you do certain events, you get the event cards instead of having to do black cards. But yeah, I do need to get out of here because I need to put food in my stomach. I am very hungry. Yeah. So every time I do it and I see a purple, I'm like, But when I saw the orange, I got so excited because I thought it was gonna be her, but it was the guy with the pink hair. Who I had already pulled for the other cards. They're not the event ones. They're a different color. And I was just like, I had to pick one to like focus for those. And I was like, I don't have this guy yet, so I'll, do that. And then I pulled him, and then a couple days later in the event cards, I pulled him again. So I just got like shards to upgrade him. But I have like 3 or 4 mechs now that I have. They're at like level 1, and I haven't done anything to level them up. Although I did level up for Commandant rank, and I graduated today. I didn't know that was something that could happen, but I got like a screen and it was like graduation. So I've graduated. Alright. It's different? I thought they were the same. Or maybe everything I was just pulling was the same color. They weren't purple anymore. Like, the beam was either orange or gold, I don't know. But I've got 2 that were that. But I've also got a couple that were, I think they were A rank or something like that. Purple, gold, and then orange. Okay. So I either got 2 golds or 2 oranges. I don't know. I can't remember. I just knew it was a different color and I got excited. But I am going to peace out of here. We will play Punishing Great Raven on Wednesday and Alien Isolation on Friday. Wednesdays are 3 p.m. Eastern to 6 p.m. and then Fridays is 5 p.m. Eastern to 9. Maybe it was Bethan. I don't know. Because it was like high rank. Even though he's like level 1, I can't really do anything with him, but anyways. I will see you guys all soon. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and chatting with me. I don't think we had any follows today, but that's okay. I still had a good talk. It's always a little therapeutic to yap for a bit. But we'll be back with, I think I'm going to do chapter 8. If not, there's another section of story that I was going to do, but I don't think there's time limit on either of them, like there was with the Echo story, so we'll pick one of those stories and we'll dive into it and see how we feel about it. And then Friday is Alien Isolation, which I'm excited about, because I'm in a very intense part of the game. Yeah, I appreciate you all, and I will see you soon. Bye!